Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of candidates for elective office. My guest today is Al Picardi, who is running for a seat on the Flower Mound Town Council. Thank you for being here, Al. If you would begin, tell our viewers something about your education, occupation, etc.
Born in New England, grew up in New Hampshire, went to the University of New Hampshire, married and worked for Fidelity Investments. Fidelity Investments transferred me to Flower Mound 25 years ago. I retired from Fidelity last year. Perhaps the most important thing that Fidelity taught me though was personal integrity. They demanded personal integrity from every employee so that we could have corporate integrity, and that was so important for us.
As a 25-year resident of Flower Mound, what do you treasure most about it?
The people, the environment, the fact that it is a community built for families with young children. The park trails that we have are absolutely wonderful. The fact that we were able to save that area between the library and the high school with all of those trees. We're just a neat town.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you could change something about our town, what would it be?
That's an easy one. The dissension in town. There is absolutely a us versus them tribe forming. That is the most destructive thing that I see. I see it on Facebook, I see it on the angry comments, I see it on comments of people who really, I don't even think that they're necessarily thinking before they hit enter.
Yeah, sometimes people get overly emotional on social media. They wouldn't do it if they were one-on-one with somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think are the major challenges facing us in the next few years?
North Texas, the Flower Mountain, Denton area is growing, and it's growing rapidly. If Flower Mound were not to issue another building permit for the next 10 years, the traffic in Flower Mound would increase just because of what is going around us. We have to come up with ideas now and start implementing them now so that we're ready for this change. Now, I'm not saying that we should have a 10-year moratorium. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that if we did, we would still have more traffic.
Right. How about the Morris Road expansion plans? What's your position on that?
I was against it from the very first time that we heard it back in 2009. It was actually in my neighborhood. They were going to be closing one of the streets in my neighborhood to Morris, and it became a not in my backyard kind of situation. And I was very, very resistant to talk a lot about it because I didn't want to be a not in my backyard. We need transportation. We need good roads. Morris is just not the right road based on how curvy it is, the width of it to be a 6-lane road.
And the speed was just changed. Speed limit was changed to 35 in certain areas, I think.
Yes, from almost Town Hall to 30-40.
Right. So residents should be aware of that speed change. Do you know how many apartments are scheduled for the Riverwalk?
I had to check that out earlier today. I hear it's 1,200. I'm not sure how many are already built. But I look at it, I know people that live there. I know that people live there are good people, that they love that kind of a life. So for anyone to say no more apartments, you're saying, what are you saying to the people that want that kind of residence?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard there's the limit is 1,200 also, and they haven't reached that yet.
Mm-hmm.
How about the retail establishments in the Riverwalk so far?
It's a funny one. Most people are complaining when they look at the Riverwalk today that the restaurant row is not built. It's not even announced who's going to be there. Some of the other tenants being built in are being mentioned today. But it's a funny thing. The same people who were saying we want to grow slow when we have slow growth in the Riverwalk and say, how come it's not done yet?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a disconnect.
Yeah, and they've announced that the Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, and Orange Fitness is
Coming in, exactly.
They said there would be like 7 restaurants, but they haven't announced which ones yet, and so nobody really knows. Let's move on to Lakeside. How do you feel about the progress there?
Lakeside is a neat development. I do go down there for coffee Sunday mornings, but Lakeside is changing very, very rapidly. Lakeside Villas is on the table right now. It is going to perhaps bring several very large and tall multifamily units to it.
Right, and I just interviewed the principals, Richard Myers and Jimmy Archie, just the other day about it, and it's anyone who wants to know more about it should get a chance to watch that video, because they even had the board here showing where it is and what it brings to the town. Let's talk about the apartment. Apartment construction makes some people worry about transient behavior and poor maintenance that may affect the quality of life in town. How do you feel about it?
There are 2 thoughts. I asked the police chief at one of our meetings recently if there is in Flower Mound a difference of citizens between residential, single family, and apartment. He says there is not. He patrols both exactly the same, neither one statistically higher or lower in any seedy elements. The second thing is that looking at the point, I did vote for the point on P&Z. The apartment cost per door is $190,000. We have one of the best apartment developers coming in to do that. No one is going to spend $190,000 per unit and then allow it to become a seedy place.
And that's often determined by the amount of money the apartment costs. So I understand if the apartments are high enough upscale, they're not going to be deteriorated or so forth. So it really doesn't hurt anything. I mean, apartment dwellers, it seems like there's a discrimination against them or something. I mean, we've all lived in an apartment from time to time, you know.
I have, and I may again.
Yeah.
You know, at some
Yeah.
point. You're right. There is absolutely a disconnect in some people's mind between the quality of the residents living in apartments
yeah.
and the people living in single-family homes.
Yeah, and the price of the apartment, the monthly rental often determines that too.
In many cases in Flower Mound, it's more than a mortgage payment.
Oh, certainly, certainly. Let me see, in your opinion, is Flower Mound facing any unsustainable financial burden?
The growth is going to change Flower Mound. We positively need to come up with another north-south road, I believe. We have Lake Grapevine just to the south of us. I don't know how that's going to work yet. But I know that Flower Mound has a lot of real smart people with a lot of great ideas. I think that the great idea is already there. We just have to find it.
All right, so we're wrapping up, and you don't have a campaign website, but...
Not a campaign website. I'm cheap. I do have a Facebook page. Albert Picardi is running. Please go there and take a look at it.
All right, so if there's nothing else you want to add about your candidacy, except to vote for place 2, Al Picardi, all right, then I want to thank you for being here, Al, and I think you and Sandeep are both very good candidates for that position.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and thank you for watching.